get to feel like you're being reformed, you get to feel like you're being oppressed. So there's no telling what I might do to get free. There's no telling what I might do just to be treated like a human. You know, to have an officer call you a bitch and know you can get written up and thrown in the bin for, you know, using insubordination. You know, to be talked to any way and you can't protest, you know. And if you do, your protest doesn't go anywhere. But right on in a little circle. It's a vicious circle where you can never win, you know. No matter how much you love, you lose love, you know. You lose that feeling after a while. You get to feeling like a caged animal.
What we are doing here is maintaining custody. Now, this is the first order. This is the first law of correction, security, and custody. And this is what we are doing with the bars and the locks. Now, if we did not have bars and locks, it is not likely that we could, by our own just effervescence and personality and just caring to do so, keep people inside.
Now, the younger girls would be drug-related cases, the middle-aged, worthless check, shoplifting, larceny, things of that nature.
You can't win. I'm detention.
How long you been?
10 months. And it don't look like time's getting any shorter. I mean, these jails are not going to get any better. Not this way. Not with society thinking they're like they are. They think being in here is a picnic, but it's not.
Why are you in dorm C?
I'm on an appeal.
They keep you down here locked 24 hours a day?
Yes, they do. 24 hours a day.
Do you ever get any exercise?
No.
When do you expect to go back to court?
Mine's is scheduled for February the 13th, but I still have to wait a few more weeks.
Sharon, how about you?
Mine has been docketed on the Court of Appeals, but I have to wait a little longer.
How long have you both been down here in this cell?
I've been here 5 months.
I have been here 4 months, and if you don't do something really to occupy your mind and time, people here will really go crazy.
Told when to eat, sleep, when to get up, when to do this and when to do that. And the people here tell you that on the ground it's not as bad because they treat you nice, you know, and they rehabilitate you, but I don't believe it because they treat us like we dogs, you know.
You're allowed only $5 a month from home. You're eligible for welfare. If you get more than $5 a month, then you can't obtain a welfare slip. And I think on the welfare slip you get something like toothpaste, toothbrush, comb, hairdressing, deodorant, you know, tobacco, snuff, and it's only once a month.
And then, like, we had to take care of our own clothes, our street clothes. And the only thing we have is, like was mentioned earlier, a sink to wash them out in the state soap or your personal soap, you know, and hang them up, and hopefully they'll dry.
And there's just no privacy at all. You have 4 commodes in there. They're not even separated by dividers. And all 4 commodes are right side by side. So all the conditions, everything is right together.
How do you get classified to dorm A?
According to the way classification feels about you.
What do you mean by that?
Preferential treatment. If they like you and you conform to their way of thinking and doing. If you cease to be an individual, then you're sent down the hill in privacy.
If you tell on somebody and you're a snitcher, hey, you getting all right. Otherwise, you don't get nothing here. Everything you get, you got to work for the hard way. And like, hey, we're already trapped in here working for our freedom, and some of us work 7 days a week, some of us work 5 days a week, and we get nothing for it.
Does everybody have to work?
Everyone. The kitchen girls, they also work 7 days a week. They do lifting that no woman, regardless of her age or weight, should lift. They carry it off of a truck, down 9 concrete steps into a basement. And then in order to get the food up, they carry it up 14 concrete steps and around the corner, and you do it with no help.
We carry up salt. Salt is 100 pounds. We carry up shortening. Shortening is 70 pounds. Butter is about 30 pounds. I mean, and we carrying this up by ourselves.
Some inmates work that are really sick, and the hospital will give you the reason, well, if you don't have a temperature, you're not sick. Some people can lay up and be shown enough sick on their off work hours, but when work whistle blow, you better be there.
And you slave, you're not eating and sleeping in this poor place or nothing, you working for it.
From 7:30 in the morning, we have a break at 9:30 for smoking. We off at lunch at 11:30. 12:30 we're off for the day. We work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. No pay. No pay.
How do you feel about not getting paid?
I don't feel too good about that.
You have what, family? How is money supply?
I had 3 children, and I've been divorced from my husband now for some time, and things like this, not very pleasant.
Oppression spreads over a wide range, but I don't think there's any oppression like the oppression that's now, because this is like reverting back to slavery days. Instead of bringing us over on a boat, they bring us from a jailhouse. Instead of bringing us from Africa, they're bringing us from Harlem and the Bronx. But it's all the same game. They copped us for 400 years, they blew us, now they're copping us again. But they'll blow us eventually. See, what it's gonna take is people getting together, coming in groups, and not just going on the surface, but looking underneath it. Looking at those mice that run around our feet at night, like the glass in our food, or the hair you find constantly in your food. When you find a piece of meat that's so burnt that you can't eat. I eat one meal or rotten bologna that's so rotten and stink that you can't even put it to your nose, much less to your mouth. Potatoes that they don't even bother to cut the skin off. They just give it to you like you're an animal or your dog.
The food in the dining hall, it's a balanced diet, but it's got too much grease in it. For people that are on a diet, it's not good for them. 'Cause like I have sickle cell, and I'm supposed to have a high-protein diet, but I don't get one. All I get is a lot of grease.
They feed you predominantly swine 3 times a day, starches, 3/4 starch in every meal. It's no diet, really.
And the silverware, they don't have a sterilizer machine. They just had this boiling water, and they just, put the silverware down in it and just, pass it out, which is not sanitary either. And the line, it's not really clean. It's not the girls' fault. I really think it's the supervisor in the dining room fault, And the floors, as you can see, they're just nasty, And the tables, they always nasty. The pigeons hang around, the back porch, and it's not very sanitary. Like last week, we had an incident where, like, the pipes run under the stove. They were in there cooking some soup. The sewage backed up, and we didn't know it until a little later that a lot of the sewage was in the soup that we ate. It went through the pot.
Do you know if this kitchen is a condemned building?
The whole joint ought to be condemned, sister. It's raggedy. Can't you see? Look at it.
It's bad because you're human. If you come in here human, you won't leave too human. It's one thing to come in here and look, but it's another thing to live in here and be with it and feel it.
I went to security for being in isolation 27 days without taking a bath, and I tore my pajama pants up so I could wash out of the commode, and they put me in security for destroying state property.
While I was over there, it was in the wintertime, it was hailing outside, and I didn't have but one blanket, one sheet, and the roaches over there, just terrible, they attack you or something.
They crawl over you at night, and before you get into bed, which is only a little mattress on a piece of wood or metal on a wall, you have to wrap the mattress and the blanket around you so tight and curl up in a ball so the roaches won't eat you in the bed.
And it's cold over there, the heating system ain't no good, and the windows broke out, so it's just terrible. You ask me, it's just terrible. Okay, go down there and check out security and isolation, how they had them girls strapped down naked on the floor, sisters, you know, treat them just like dogs.
Right on. It will really blow your mind. It's not changing me. I'm gonna be frank with you. It's not changing me because when you in this place, I mean, it's just giving you ideas. You can try not to come back to it, but for it's changing you, it can't change you. It might make you worse in some ways. And it's very bad on people. You have to be very strong staying here, because if not, you liable to end up anywhere, because it will blow your mind, you know.
My job here is to primarily evaluate female defendants, the individual's capacity to appreciate the proceedings, the charges. They're able to comprehend what is going on in their court situation and are able to cooperate with an attorney. This is a general guideline. However, the psychiatrist has to interpret this in accordance with his own experience and knowledge regarding such matters.
They wouldn't even let me testify, and I let none of my children testify to defend myself, and they sentenced me to the electric chair.
Did you ever see a psychiatrist?
Yes, I've been to see one about 3 times.
What they say about you?
Well, they said that my mind was all right, and everything was just fine. So I told them that I didn't want to see them no more because I wasn't crazy.
We find that patients who are in prison are subject to additional stresses than what people generally have to experience.
I don't know. They said they was going to send me to the electric chair, but I don't believe in capital punishments like that. And the Bible says that don't take that we can't give, and if they take my life, they sure can't give it back to me, and I don't think it's right.
Many individuals may either break down or show anxieties and depressive reactions while they are incarcerated, and medication often is very important.
When I first came in here, I was taking some kind of pill, but I took it one day and I didn't know what it was, so I stopped, you know, and I still don't know what it was. Most of the kind of pills that he give you are sleeping pills. They knock you out, you know, and some white ones, they are uppers, you know, like they make you feel like you're tripping, you know. And he give you 2 more to bring you down. Like one of my girlfriends around the corner is taking them now, you know. And she's not crazy, you know. Ain't nothing wrong with her, it's just the doctor thinks so, you know. Miss Mamie, she's on death row. She's been here a year and something. I don't know if I should say it or not, but like they fill her up with drugs, you know, and like she sleep all the time. She sleep constantly every 4 and 5 times a day. She wake up to eat, then she go back to sleep. She wake up to eat, then she go back to sleep, you know. I know some people in here, and they be walking around like they don't even know who they are. They be so drugged up.
Most of the people here, whatever psychological pressures they experience are often intensely aggravated by, you know, the kinds of very real economic deprivation they deal with in the everyday world. And certainly these kinds of pressures exacerbate any kind of, you know, psychological or personal problems they may have to begin with. From my experience, I see that there are many women here who are very isolated in terms of not having any family, but family and or friends are allowed to visit.
There's been one thing that I never quite understood. I have 2 sons that were 18 years old and was not married. They could not visit her, even though they were my children.
I have a large family. It's 2K, and it's a lot of my family I haven't saw in these 22 months I have been here because they can't come to visit. And I would like very much to visit me, and they would if they could. But my mother's very favorable with my kids in my absence. She's taking care of them and doing a very good job. I don't know what I'd do without her.
We do have a unique problem dealing with women. When a man is incarcerated, generally he'll leave behind a woman who can keep the family as a unit. With a woman, it's different. We have a lot of women that were heads of households, And when we confine them, what happened to their children? You know, home is shattered. That's one of our weaknesses. I don't know what to do to correct it.
When I got in here, they took my kids from my mother, my 2 kids, and placed them in foster care. And you know, that hit me like a hammer. I cried, you know.
One of my children is in an adoption agency and the other's in foster home. I just can't get them.
Many of the women have many common problems.
I had a miscarriage here. I had a miscarriage here when I first came in, because I got, like, when I got arrested, I got very beat, you know, I got beaten up by the officer. So I came in hemorrhaging. Male.
I reported her hemorrhaging and bleeding at 3 o'clock to a court-appointed officer, and the officer deliberately neglected what I was saying. At 5 o'clock that afternoon, as we was approaching the van to come back to Rikers Island, Jeanette's baby dropped out of her. And I call that deliberate officer neglect. That's why she lost her baby. I reported that the girl was bleeding at 3 o'clock. Nothing was done. She said that officer told us that that's not her concern.
I was in the infirmary for 16 days. Like, they sent me to Elmhurst, and in Elmhurst they told me and my accompanying officer, that if they gave me the right treatment here, I wouldn't lose my child. And when I came back, next time I went back to Elmhurst, I had already lost it.
By being neglected and not having medical treatment, the lady lost her baby. I call that murder.
When I've done my time for something I'm not, well, guilty or not, when I've done my time, I'm not going to leave here the same person, docile, that I came in here as. Now, when I get out of here, they're going to have a big fight. They say you can't fight in jail, but I'm fighting in here, and I'm going to give them hell when I get out. If we stand together and we ask for vocational training, we've got a school. But if we put ourselves into the school, we can do something. If we put ourselves into what we want, we can get it. Because I'm going to get mine. Now, any sister that wants to fight with me, she can come on and get it with me. But if she don't feel like fighting, I'll see her on the way back. Because I'm not staying back there with her. I might come back to see what I left behind, but I'm not picking it up. I'm leaving it. Because I'm going to fight. You know? Because this can't go on. It's a mad race. And it's never been known in history that a race is going to stay down for so long. Especially if they got people in it like me, because I'm not going to stay down. I'm very proud. I'm a very proud black woman.